Okay, good afternoon again from Cluj. I hope you can hear me. Good morning in other parts of the globe. Good evening in other countries. So step by step, I'm so happy that we arrived somehow to close to the end of our conference, but still we have an interesting presentation. It's a keynote speech that will be introduced by Dr. Dimitri Sidorovitch. He is a chairman of the board of DEIP Blockchain Technologies. It is a startup located in Silicon Valley. Yesterday, I had some interactions with Hans-Gert regarding the open innovation, and also one key concept with respect to our conference for this edition is this open innovation. And not accidentally, I have invited Dimitri to introduce the practical perspective, how this concept can be put into practice, because this is something different than open source we are often used to have in the software industry. In many cases, we are talking about polycentric innovation, where people or groups of people like to work together, but in a way that they can quantify at every moment their contribution, and maybe to the point where they like to valorize in a way, for example, in a spin-off or in exploiting the intellectual property to know exactly everybody how much value brought into that development. And the intervention of Dimitri will be with respect to this. But first of all, please let me say just a few words about Dimitri. As I said, he is co-founder and chairman of the board of DEIP Blockchain Technologies. And this startup is focused on open innovation frameworks. Previously to this initiative, Dimitri was CEO of Nokia in Belarus and Moldova. He built a solid business presence of Nokia in the cluster Eastern Europe and Central Asia. Dimitri also held the global CTO position at Nokia and beforehand at Siemens, enabling innovation products, market introduction in different regions, different countries in the world. While a research and teaching doctorate position in the Ruhr University of Bochum, Germany, Dimitri developed novel statistical methods for today's artificial intelligence machine learning technology. Dimitri has a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering and Informatics. He has a PhD in Statistics and an Executive MBA at Berlin. So with these introductory words, I will invite Dimitri to have the floor, the virtual floor, and introduce his talk to the audience. Thank you, Dimitri, being with us.
Yeah, thank you, Stelian. Can you hear? Yeah, good. Thanks a lot for the nice introduction. So I got the best time slot. So you had 3 nice days with very interesting presentations. So this is the last slot. So, and I will try to keep it interesting. So I tried to share some slides with you. Okay. So I'm Dimitri Sidorovitch. I'm chairman of the board of DEIP, and DEIP, this is a startup from San Francisco. So basically, we started with blockchain, and we were not so happy what was available on the market. So we started to think from scratch. We need to develop something different, something which is next generation, which is flexible. And that's why the first thing what we've done, we have developed a new generation hybrid blockchain. Hybrid means that it's possible to combine both public and private domains. But this is just a tech, and on top of tech, we have introduced different services which are focusing on open innovation. And in my presentation, I'd like to show you some more details and to provide some understanding what is the motivation behind. So for sure, as you can see from the title, we'd like to enable next big thing. Actually, we'd like to enable a tsunami of the next big things. This is, let me say, very nice mission, but how to do it? Let's see, first of all, the problems what we have currently on the world. So first of all, and the biggest one is that there is a huge gap between discovering commercial application. 90% of the projects are not reaching application stage. So we call it value of innovation debt, and probably this is the biggest challenge for everybody, including startups, just to go through this. One more thing, so if we take a look on SAP 500, so which is the biggest index in US, where the biggest company listed, including all innovative companies. So we can see that approximately 85% of all assets from SAP 500, these are companies' intangible assets, intangible. And just for comparison, if we just look back into 1975, it was just 17%. And this 85% is growing, so someday they will come close to 100. And then number of the patents, which also an indicator of innovations going on. So we can see here, so approximately 1.5 million patents per year. Even so, patents as a systematic mechanism protecting of your IP, of your invention, is rather outdated. Well, looking into corporate domains, so looking at the enterprises, we see approximately 5% yearly growth on R&D expenditures. So there is a big motivation coming here, and for companies, it's a lot of invention. And for sure, we have a lot of papers. The structure of the papers is changing. So in the past, there were a bigger portion of enterprise papers coming from the industry. So now it's not such a big percentage, because many enterprises prefer to stay in the secrecy and not expose some ideas. And this generates also a big disconnect between academia and corporate world. So now looking at deep tech and technology assets in terms of liquidity. So here we face three main issues. So value of technology asset is not established and known to the market. It's hard to define, how to communicate, and hard to find real numbers. Portability. So if you talk about technology transfer, this is rather cumbersome and outdated process. So it's not really working in way of automatization and collaboration. Exchange. So no fast and secure ways to trade technology assets. So basically these three main areas, so they need to be constructed. They need to be updated and developed. And why now? So first of all, we need new commercialization. So why is it so? So we have a long way from ideation to commercialization, and we need to leverage deep tech risks on all this way with continuous funding. And it should be accessible, and it should be, let me say, understandable mechanism of getting this. Then the second one, if you face a flood of inventions, so you need a new level of assessment, and for sure high specialization and multidisciplinary solutions require unbiased assessment. And for sure pandemic events, so they put quite a new requirements on the collaboration. So we need to have a mechanism how to put focused mobile task forces within short period of time. And I think everybody understands after such events the necessity of this. And that's why each disruptive technology coming from needs. So, and here my love to psychology and philosophy got me to this nice concept of Maslow. Probably everybody knows about human needs. So we have this nice pyramid, and the bottom line, the message is that in order to be effective, in order to get realization, you need to step from the bottom to the top, and you need to cover all these segments. In the same way, thinking about innovators. So I was thinking that what are the basic needs and what is required here? And here we are starting with the DEIP pyramid of innovators' needs. And looking at the bottom, so the first thing which each innovator requires, or anybody who is producing any ideas requires, is just to get protection of this idea. And that's why we have developed, based on the blockchain, IP protection toolbox, which is, let me say, very cost-effective way to protect your idea, your invention, so you can sleep well. Okay, then if you're done, if you get this protected, the next step would be to start to collaborate with like-minded people. So here, the new level of collaboration coming into place because of hybrid nature of our blockchain. Hybrid means that we can combine both public and private domains. And you know that private domains, so most of the enterprises, corporate they'd like to keep many things in secrecy. So academia from another side, it's open domain, public. So this provides a nice tool just to enable this collaboration between this open and closed world. Then, if you producing many and facilitating many new ideas, many new innovations, so you need to have an assessment mechanism. You need to decide what is valuable, what is promising, what is futuristic. So that's why from our side, we have developed decentralized AI-based assessment model, which is multidimensional quantitative approach, which provides you with assessment of IP assets. And on top, you need a motivational part. In order to get the platform, let me say, running up and running, you need some active participant. And here we talk about reward. If we talk about reward, this is two-dimensional. First, for sure, you are getting economical rewards, so you can get some portion of the payments coming with from royalties. So you can monetize, you can securitize your project and to sell it to some financial players. This is one thing, this is economical, but most important, reputational reward. So by being active, by providing nice quality contribution, you are earning your reputation. And this is digital reputation, and this is basically incorporated on the blockchain. And as you know, blockchain is immutable. That means that nobody can manipulate this. So it's basically the entry ticket or door opener for you to step into any project outside of your network and to have a credits. So it's like a digital CV. And this is the solution, the platform we have developed basically to cover all these needs. So you can see here, the first block is dedicated to IP management and contract management. So on the blockchain provides such a nice functionality like smart contracts, and based on this, together with IP management, which is cost-effective mechanism to secure your IP protection, we have developed different types of the contracts which can be realized and facilitate collaboration like NDA agreements, like licensing agreements and so on. So then the second block is about discovery. So this is a curated marketplace, or basically platform to foster collaboration among innovators by encouraging to share an expertise. And the third one about assessment. So as I mentioned, this is our pride, AI, ML-based expertise crowdsourcing engine for assessment of IP assets. And to finalize, it's a marketplace. So this is IP asset exchange and investment platform, but also with capability for technology licensing and royalty distribution. So all these nice things coming from blockchain in terms of automatization, they can be applicable here for realization of the service. What makes us special? Just to summarize, so we have developed AI-powered unbiased assessment tool for deep tech assets and for IP assets. The second one, which provides additional value for collaboration by applying our hybrid blockchain and the new way how the information can be exchanged. So we are breaking walls between closed and open walls like enterprise and academia, and also enabling advanced data sharing. Advanced data sharing means that all contribution, even small one, even providing some quality data from university to a big company can be tracked, and this contribution can be a key for the future, some distribution of the royalty or future income. And the third one, continuous IP-centric investment and monetization. And this is very important. This mechanism of both monetization and investment is going from the very early stage of the project. So it's not necessary when you are coming very close to commercialization, which is probably most developed currently. So we've done a lot of homework, and as I said, we have developed ecosystem. So we started with a hybrid blockchain, which is a new generation blockchain, so as a layer for transaction. And then we put on top of this protocol for open innovation, focusing some open innovation things. Then we have modular system. There are different modules, which are basically the use cases coming from our customers. And these modules can be put to the platform. So each platform we have developed so far, this is a modular platform, and this contains of the modules. And the beauty is that all these platforms sitting on the blockchain, so they can be interconnecting, and then you benefit from network effect. So it can be global, and you have a lot of synergies coming here. And these are 5 platforms we have developed so far, and they reflect the customer segments we are working with. So Open Research and Innovation Platform, this is our platform for enterprises and academia. Then we have one special platform for technology transfer offices. So, and then Deep Tech Investment Platform, more for investment part and financial part. Then we are talking also to big publishers, and you know there are many initiatives on the open publishing, so we are here also in the project. And IP Ledger Toolbox, which is cost-effective toolbox just to protect your IP, protect your idea, and to generate some contracts like NDA, licensing agreement. So this is available now, and this we have developed so far. Now talking about the new generation blockchain. So here there are some characteristics, and as I said, we've been not so happy what we have currently on the market with mainstream. That's why we have developed this from scratch, and this is very advanced LMAX architecture, and as a result, we can say that we have developed enterprise grade of the blockchain. And if I say enterprise grade, that means that in terms of scalability, so we can do up to 200K transactions per second. So it's very fast. So we can replace even today such financial applications like MasterCard or Visa with such scalability power. We have interoperability, so that means that we can talk to any other blockchain. So this provides also facilitation of the introduction of our products, and easy integration. So for sure, many, especially big enterprises, they have legacies, they have own established centralized systems. So our aggregation cluster concept allows to integrate into this system and to provide a smooth migration without forklifting and without a discontinuation of the service. This is about our hybrid blockchain. Then talking about the assessment system. So here we are using basically expertise crowdsourcing platform, and crowdsourcing review is utilized. We have formalization algorithm, and for sure you are building the merit-based reputation. And as a result of assessment, so you are getting a score, ECI. This is expert contribution index, so what we have developed, and basically this is also a reputational score, which is also characterized of different criteria, impact, commercialization, novelty, readiness, and this is based on the DOA models, which is available on the blockchain as well. And running different data points with our AI-based algorithm. Then let's consider a use case in terms of the innovation, what we usually have. These are, let me say, some main steps. Accelerate innovation through collaboration. So here we are starting based on our blockchain involvement, first protection, IP protection, then some NDA agreements starting to enabling to collaborate with even untrusted partners you don't know so far, and then the nature of the hybrid of our blockchain provides possibility just to interconnect to even secret projects coming from the industry, and just to provide small piece of data or another small contribution, which then can be considered when it comes to monetization. Get assessment of complex projects of the network. This is our AI, decentralized AI assessment platform. Facilitate private and public funding. So for sure, from the day one as starting the project, especially on the early stage, it's very important just to get funding. We have defined quite a new concepts and a lot of innovation coming here in terms of the, from one side, get funds, from another side, to invest for investor, if you look from investor point of view. And for sure, for organization like technology transfer offices, this is for enterprises who are making revenues based on the IP. So there is increasing number of the revenue wave streams which can be produced on such a novel model. And the last one is tracking the impact, so each cost should be estimated, so we can provide full cycle and estimation, let me say, keeping track from the history what's been happening. And who are the main players on the platform? This is for sure experts producing innovation, investors, enterprises, and for sure government and non-profit organization in terms of the grant giving and in terms of participation financing projects. So now talking about accelerating innovation through collaboration. So here on the platform, so you can find partners, build a task forces of like-minded experts on the global basis. What I already explained, register and share ownership of your IP assets on our IP protection platform. Secure collaboration via automated contracts, and drive insight by sourcing data from the network, because as I explained, all these platforms can be interconnected because they sit on the blockchain. Get assessment. So these are some screen views from the assessment and peer reviews which realized so far. So you can provision this, you can source high feedback, and you can reuse review results from network participant and leverage trusted history of related projects, so building trustability. And rate and incentivize participation of experts and transfer review results into series of metrics. And such metrics as I showed before, ECI, Expert Contribution Index, which provides multidimensional quantitative estimate of your deep tech or your IP asset. Facilitate private and public funding of R&D projects. So, and this helps actually to cross this valley of innovation death, because even from the day one, when just project is on the early stage, we provide the possibility for inventors to place it and to make some assessment on the project. And based on the assessment result, this is also for investor a nice decision-making logic behind. And Based on this, different models of funding can be realized. We talk about revenue sharing, giving the percentage of the future earnings to investors, donation, grants, crowd investing, bonds. So it's rather sophisticated. Increased number of revenue streams for collaborators. So this is open curated marketplace. And so here you can basically do all related transactions like transfer, share, exchange, license your project. So all these functions are realized and providing the nice capability. Enable securitization, which is quite a new area. So here we are talking with many financial players, and there are already some projects running and again a lot of money based on this. Utilize variety of revenue models. So talking about climate change, so green bonds, health bonds, IP funds, carbon credits. So it's really the number of the options is huge here. And allow participants in corporate open innovation challenges, but participate in the open innovation challenges. And so this also unlocking some new revenue streams. Track impact. So all projects, the beauty of the blockchain is that you are getting full transparency. So you have traceability and you can see all milestones project was going so far. And so this helps to evaluate performance and also for people starting to collaborate or willing to collaborate, provide a nice picture, transparent picture, how to step into, or for investors to make a quick investment decision. Well, I'd like to summarize all these modules, and basically if we talk about what we are offering in terms of open innovation, these are three main areas. So the first one, new commercialization, and here all these modules, these are real use cases from our customers, what we have realized. Deep tech securitization, crowdfunding, IP protection toolbox I mentioned, sorry. Automated contracts. So here we're talking about NDA agreements, licensing agreements, and so forth. Automated budget distribution, grants distribution. This is the first block. The second one about assessment and efficiency and guaranteeing this unbiased quality. So for sure, our AI-powered assets assessment is the instant peer review and impact tracking. One important area, screening of innovation. If you have a huge funnel of different projects, ideas, so here it's probably to define priorities for your actions. So it's a tool to make an estimate. And for sure, analytics and super forecasting, just to get, let me say, a clear picture of what's behind of the project, how is the quality, how is the impact, and whether this is futuristic. New collaboration, this is the third block, and here, first of all, we enable very transparent but curated listing of all technologies, projects, and ideas which are introduced on the platform. And advanced data sharing, this is another beauty of the blockchain, the traceability. So everything, even small contributions are recorded and can be used then for when the project is coming to commercialization. Cross-institutional collaboration, so global base of innovators and open publishing, which I have already mentioned. So, and overall idea to connect all these platforms together, that all innovators connected. And this is a global perspective, global scale. Okay, talking about businesses. So we talk about 50% paradigm and talk about increase of return of investment, increased number of innovation, decrease of OPEX, time to market, reduced time to funding. But what we see from our customers, actually, these numbers are really conservative. So we can get here really a quantum leap in terms of disruption existing business processes. Well, I'm coming to the end of my presentation, so I'd like to summarize what you've seen so far. So with our vision, we enable new type of commercialization, which provides quite novel tools for both for monetization, for investment and funding of your project. New assessment, and this is assessment of intangible assets, which is the future. This is also assessment of knowledge, which is also futuristic, rather futuristic stuff, and new type of collaboration I explained before. Well, guys, I think I haven't overloaded you with too much stuff. I am done, and I'm open for questions.
Yes, we have some questions in the chat. You may also read them. It's about a question related with the future. How do you forecast the future of information security? Because, yeah, if something is becoming valuable in the market, all companies will try to steal the ideas. So, yeah, comments on this.
Yeah, actually, I mean, this is a very good question. I can tell you a story. So if we think about Silicon Valley, I mean, this is probably the best ecosystem for innovation management and innovation facilitation. So I was asking myself, why is it so that 90% dying in this valley of innovation death? Actually, if you are in the valley, you can just cross the street, go to Starbucks, you will find potential collaborators, potential investors. So it's so easy, but it's still not working. So what is behind of this? And actually, this is about protection of your ideas. So most of the innovators, they're scared. So they even have paranoia to share and to enter this conversation collaboration. And because there are no tools, the system what we have right now, patents, this is fully outdated. So you know how much time it takes, so how much costs are behind, and actually it should be revolutionized. It should be really updated, and we are talking about the products and solutions with much shorter life cycles. And this is a trend, and this should be addressed. So that probably IP protection, I think this is one of the key areas which will facilitate and provide a boost for innovative ideas. And for sure, this will enable also openness and willingness to collaborate in a new way.
Okay, thank you. It's a nice question about the business model you are running with different target customers and how they can subscribe to the platform, and yeah, what do you expect this, and how experts are assessed, of course. That's another question.
Yeah, so in terms of the business model, so here we have quite innovative approach. So basically, we'd like to enable a partnership model from day one. That means that we provide our platform free of charge, and we just take some portion, some small flat fee when our partner is starting to earn money on this platform.
Great. And another question is about your customers, big corporation, also SMEs, also, let's say, individual researchers, inventors, etc. So who is targeted?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as we started, we've been focusing B2B model, right? So and so we started to partner with big associations like Marie Curie Alumni Association, Eurodoc, and so on and so forth. So with big organizations, even governments in US and Canada. So we are partnering with innovative EU organization. Even this year, we got 2 innovation awards from EOSC, European Open Science Cloud, and from Blockchairs. So the first approach is B2B. But even for, let me say, for for individual inventors, this provides a lot of value because we have different useful tools like IP Ledger, which is our IP protection toolbox. And this can be used for protection of ideas even today. You just go to our site, to the portal, and you can try it free. So you can generate and may get certification to provide evidence of the ownership of your ideas. We have customers who are even protecting their drawing or something what they developed, the drawing on the Lamborghini or somewhere. So there are very interesting ideas coming from this area, and this is available now, and this is available for individuals. So we are not talking about the future. This is already implemented, and this is under continuous development in terms of the features and functionalities.
Okay, I have also a question, which is, I think, very important for the audience to understand this flow of open innovation, because, we can protect, we use blockchain technology, protection, etc., but it's about this environment where people gradually, incrementally can start working to a project, to something new, and how they become partners, which is, let's say, the life cycle of this gradual increase of the partnership, how they can, because at a certain moment in a collaborative work, they should share information, they have to quantify this, and please let us know about the flow, how they can run this.
Yeah, for sure. The easy way, I mean, you're making a project on the platform, so you invite somebody, you can sign NDA agreement, then you can decide also what kind of information you can release, so you have full control of the data exchange. So you can say, I mean, I keep it in secrecy, and so realize this trade secret, or I just expose the part of my project. So you have the full flexibility, and you can start collaboration with untrusted person. So without knowing, without having any relationship, because of this thing that you have full traceability. So each contribution is recorded. So and with each action, with each contribution, you are earning also this reputational score, ECI, and actually this can increase. This can go up, and this can decline. And this depends not just from your activity, but this depends also on the quality of your contribution. So if you are very active, but the quality of the contribution is low, so it's the reputational indicator is going to decrease. So basically, you are building this reputational score, which can be used, let me say, also as an entry point for future collaboration step. Because I mean, this is protected, and this is on the blockchain, and this is unbiased in this sense.
Okay, so you can start from an idea and put on the platform, and that then maybe the community can see and can become interested and join this, or is it like that?
Yeah, it's like this. I mean, you start with idea, then you are looking for the like-minded people. You can ask for, let me say, for peer review, for feedback, and by doing this, they can do contribution to your idea. You start developing this, and everybody is just getting. So each transaction is recorded, and each activity, each contribution provides some change of your reputational score. So, and that keeps moving. And for sure, you can come also to monetization of this idea. So you can attract some investors on the early stage, because I mean, you can ask for assessment of your project, and this will provide for investors also some criteria for decision making, for quick decision making.
Okay, another question. The trees philosophy, or let's say trees approach is to try innovate, starting from different kind of contradiction. So we are searching for these contradictions in the system, and then we try to approach using different kind of toolboxes, different methods. And related with the Maslow pyramid, you have introduced in one of the slides, Here we have a question about how do you relate with such a contradiction between, for example, protection on one side and the public domain on the other side, or between collaboration and delimitation, or between assessment and wrong valuation. And it's the fourth, short-term reward versus long-term reward. I'm very sure that the platform is capable, the algorithm to handle this, but yeah, we like to hear from you how you handle these kind of contradictions.
Yeah, for sure. Here, contrary to the centralized system, which are well known, so here tech will help a lot in terms of the hybrid nature of blockchain, which is realized here. And as I explained, hybrid means that you are capable to combine private domains and public. So that means you can define some layers which are going to be public and which can be exposed to everybody, and you can keep some segments of information privately, which will keep within a closed sector. And this is enabled by tech. This is, let me say, this is not methodology. This is a tech implementation.
Yeah, but even public information somehow is already recorded using maybe a key from a blockchain to mention that you have the original idea with respect, even if you publish it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is anyhow, any transaction is recorded on the blockchain, but here you have an option to basically to decide whether you release a full information or whether you are releasing or exposing part of the information, or you're just releasing some keywords. So you have flexibility, let me say, to put some more intelligence on this, on communication in the public domain.
Another question is, with respect to the main features of, let's say, your technology in order to innovate the intellectual property protection. I mean, what kind of elements are considered in this respect?
So we can say that, I mean, IP protection on the blockchain. So we have this toolbox which is available, and actually this provides an evidence of ownership. So there are different territory, let me say, different countries which are already using blockchain as a, let me say, as a replacement for patents. So we have some customers in China who are going to the court, and they're just taking the hash, which is identifier of your invention, and the judge can put the hash, let me say, on the portal, and they're getting the evidence. Oh, this guy on this day, so this is his invention. So he is, let me say, this is this ownership. In US, the same way. In US, several states already started to do this. So we are on the way moving, let me say, to more flexible tools, because everybody realized that patent system is outdated. So it needs, let me say, reformation. And there are a lot of incremental innovations coming, and there are a lot of things which are not patentable. So you are not able to cover this, and the cycles are so short. And this gives, if you're having such a tool in your hands, so this provides your, let me say, you can sleep well, and you can start to be public, and you can start to approach investors, collaborators, and so on. So this is the key.
Okay, it's also, another question about the, blockchain is attractive because of anonymity of the users, but somebody said how can we be sure with your solution that we reveal precious information to not to the enemies or something like this that is written. Maybe could be rephrased by colleagues if.
I'm not sure I'm getting this, but there are many mechanisms in dealing with, if it relates to private data. So dealing on the blockchain with private data. So we have zero knowledge proof. So basically we can analyze different, let me say, personal profiles without knowing the data. And this provides also a new level of protection of personal data. So basically our idea is also to return the power of the personal data and the value of personal data back to the owner, and just to give them the trigger to decide which portion of this personal data is going to be released for the service. So, and this, there are different verifiable kind of credentials. So it's another feature what we have. So you can put different, let me say, very futuristic private data management tools here, which are not possible in the centralized world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another issue here, another question about your position on a famous wording attributed to Newton, standing on the shoulders of giants. I mean, in other words, how you match declared and actual identity of the users. I mean, I think that people think that that persons that are behind an identity are not the true identity of that person or that company. But this is another issue, because not the persons are hidden, yes, are protecting the results in a blockchain. No?
Yeah, that's why, I mean, there is special concept, verifiable credentials, which is developed, I mean, just get rid of this and just to enable the full, let me say, clarity that it cannot be manipulated. So there are a lot of issues, but this is, again, this is the segment of the personal data, and there are very new innovative ways how to hide it. It's not just, I think, the background probably comes from experience of people using public blockchains where many things have been done not so nicely.
Yeah. Okay. As I said in the introduction, still there are, say, persons, especially from the software world, which are very much close to the open source model. And yeah, it's a common here that Microsoft put on the GitHub.net technology to everybody to develop, but this is another type of business model. So which, of course, it's something else than the business philosophy of open innovation. And maybe this could be a good opportunity to explain to audience which is the difference between the open source business model and the open innovation business model.
Well, open source. So we have here. I mean, you have different sources repository where basically you expose your programming code to audience and allow them to collaborate. I mean, just to establish some different components. So open innovation comes here. There are too many. It's more comprehensive in sense of there are some components related to the collaboration. So different types of the peer review and curation. So basically, you are trying to build the openness, the sourcing of knowledge from crowd. So you are saying that not all smart guys can work for you. So that's why you need to build some mechanism how to find, how to insource this expertise from crowd, and this mechanism enables something like this. Also with open publishing, that immediately after your invention, after project reaching some milestone, you can publish some results simultaneously. You can get some grants, apply for some grants, and all this process. This is a new level of automation, and let me say, getting out of this vendor lock, of these restrictions which result to a lot of time waiting for publication, waiting for grants, for receiving grants, a lot of bureaucracy related to applying for grants and for funding. So these barriers should be solved. And also the barrier between academia and corporate world, which is, I mean, it's very interesting. If you take a look at the percentage of the papers from academia and corporate world in 70s and 80s, so it was almost 70% coming from corporates. So if you look now, the percentage of the paper coming from corporates, this is less than 10. And so you see there is disconnect. So basically people in academia, they don't have benchmark, they don't have public information, what is now relevant in the corporate world. So this disconnect was built during the last 20 years approximately.
Yes, okay, thank you. I also have a curiosity about relation with open innovation of researchers. For example, we have PhD students in the universities. How could they benefit of such a, say, environment, such a platform for collaboration? And if you have some examples in this respect.
We so far we haven't so much experience with student communities, but a different research organizations. So I mean, the students are members of the team, so somehow they are participating in different ways. So, but for sure, I mean, they're just to provide the toolbox first to protect idea to each of the student, because I mean there are some bright heads and nice ideas are produced all around the world. Then for sure you can put this on the curated marketplace. You can start to look for like-minded people who will collaborate with you, willing to collaborate with you. Then you can try to attract some funding for this small project, and doing just these 3 steps. This is basically the sort of first step for startup, I mean, to build. And I think this should be enough motivation for students, PhD students working in the research areas or producing some innovative idea to step on the platform.
Okay, thank you. I do not see any other question in the chat, but maybe the audience can raise up the hand and ask the question directly, please. Okay, it seems we do not have any other questions, so I conclude that we can close this keynote talk, and I would like Dimitri, thank you very much for your presentation, and I'm very sure that you open some ideas to many of the colleagues in the room, in the virtual room, and definitely I also truly believe that working already in the real market with this technology, it's a sign that that there are companies and business models of these companies that are very much interested to build up new kind of, let's say, collaborative innovation projects.